Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel again. Keith here from Come On The Hoops Celtic. If this is your first time tuning into the channel, please hit the subscribe button below. Even a thumbs up on the video anytime would be fantastic. So a bit of transfer activity, different from the names I mentioned the last couple of days. We're going to talk about a former Celtic player and a player that's been on our radar for the last 3 to 4 months. First of all, Jack Hendry. Celtic fans weren't a big fan of this guy when he arrived from Dundee FC. Called him a liability. Gave him a lot of abuse at certain games, never suit the system. And the memorable game that we always find was the second leg against AEK Athens, where he had an absolute disaster away in Athens. It was the game that Barkas knocked us out of the Champions League as well, unfortunately. So, reports that Burnley have put a bid in. I don't know how much the bid is. Vincent Kompany is a massive fan of him, who Vincent Kompany had obviously stints in Belgium with Anderlecht and with the national team. He's a big fan of him, and he's looking to recruit him from the Belgian Pro League. So, 27 years of age. He's been capped for Scotland 17 times. He played 38 games last season for Club Brugge, even in the Champions League as well. He's a bit of calibre in there, so I hope he goes. I don't know if we're going to get a sell-on clause with this. There hasn't much been talked about. I don't think we will get a sell-on clause, and if it is, it's probably going to be pittance anyway. So all the very best, Jack. You know, I find that these Scottish players that go to Belgium, they're mature, they get a bit of experience, and they go on to better things, which is fantastic to see. And hopefully Mikey Johnson will be going to Belgium and he joins Stade Liège. Hopefully. I've talked about Mikey Johnson a couple of times in the last few days. There's reports that Hibs want him, Stade Liège want him. If it was between the two of them, I'd rather see him go to Stade Liège because it's more of a calibre of a league, and he's getting to work with a good manager, Ronnie Toilet, as well. So a bit of a Celtic connection there. Regards to Mohammed Fani. Now, if you haven't heard of this guy, he's an Israeli defensive midfielder. He's 24 years of age. He's just under 5'7". He's been capped for Israel 14 times, and he's played 44 games last season, 6 goals, 6 assists, and he came on as a sub last night for Maccabi Haifa against Olympiacos in the Champions League qualification. With the Israeli team winning, it means that Greek football's coefficient has dropped, and it's earned Scottish football an extra few quid with coefficient rankings. It means that Celtic will now pocket just under $1 million for these rankings. The change of the rankings, which is fantastic. Reports, we had a scout there last night watching him. He came off the bench in the second half. I looked up a couple of YouTube videos on him. Looks like a powerhouse. Bit of pace as well, like to see. And you know what? We need options in that midfield. I know we've obviously recruited the likes of Aaron Moy, but I've said this many times on the channel. I know Callum is a massive part of our team, but he's crucial that we can get him pushing up. Because with the absence of Tom Rogic leaving Celtic, it's up to Atate, it's up to David Turnbull, it's up to Matt O'Reilly to come up with the goals in the special games. Even when we're 0-0, 10 minutes to go, if they can come up with a late winner, would be fantastic. So, Mohammed Fani, 2 years left in his deal. Well, there's 3 years left in his deal, well, 2.5 you could say. Are we going to sign him? I'd say the fee will be reportedly around, because they're pursuing Champions League football at the moment. You're looking about 2.5 million, perhaps. Don't correct me on it, because I'm not sure. As I said, there hasn't been an official fee that went in, but we had our scouts over looking at him the last couple of months. So let's see what happens. Would you like to see him come into the club? I personally would. I think the more ammunition in the midfield, the better. Obviously, Sorrow's gone from that position. I know we've talked about James McCarthy on the channel numerous of times. People can't get their heads around how he got a long-term deal in his early 30s. I can't get my head around it as well, to be honest. It was a poor executive decision from Celtic to give this guy a long-term deal. And, you know what, James McCarthy, he has experience obviously in the Premier League and playing the Championship and playing for Ireland, but too injury prone. And I'd just rather have some new fresh names in, fresh blood in. He could be a new Nir Beaton in that position, or a Kayal, you know. We have had a good experience with Israeli midfielders over the last 10 years. So let's see what happens. Do subscribe to the channel. I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Hell.